Awesome. I hope you had a really great break. And so now let's go ahead and get back into our turtle and start doing our details. And this is going to be the best part. So we're getting right into it. We're going to start using our round brush. I like to pinch my little round brush to a point. Sometimes they get a little frayed when they're sitting in the water. So just be sure to kind of make it into a point again. And now let's see this painting. First thing we're going to do is darken up and do our final outlining, and that's going to be done with our purple magenta color. So that's this guy right here, the white, just like this. He's got a little smiley here. Like to give him like a little lip. And then on his neck, I just like to add some like little tick marks. Give the impression of his little cute wrinkles. And for those of you who want a smaller round brush, there's also these little tiny pointer round brushes. This is actually a watercolor brush. Watercolor brushes are amazing also for acrylic. They're really great for detailing with acrylics. And so I like to use this long watercolor round brush. So we're kind of outlining our turtle at this point. Kind of redefining some few key areas. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and just define where the eye is, which is going to be a football inside that circle that we made earlier. And then I'm going to show you a technique that you're going to use throughout the rest of this painting, which is literally just creating fun little shapes all throughout his little legs and his front flippers and on his side of his face. And then I'll show you how to do the shell and the carapace, which is called the carapace, and then on his underbelly. So I like to start just pick anywhere you like, but you don't have to be perfect with this. This is really fun. You're just kind of making squares, pentagons, hexagons, squiggles, like really it's whatever you want. To make his like little scales, you can do that. So it's just doing this all over, and again using that purple color. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and connect his shell on the bottom with top shell. So his little underbelly is going to now be connected with his upper shell, like that. You have to go ahead and put his little nose there, and maybe add a couple little striations in here. Okay, so as soon as you get done with that, with the purple, what you're gonna do next is you're gonna switch over to pure white. So we're going to be using that white. Just make sure you clean your brush really, really good. You don't want any of that purple for this next step. So now we're going to be going kind of over similar areas, but just around the pink color that we just added. And we're gonna go ahead and do our highlights. Like this. And if you get a little bit of pink in there, that's a-okay, not a problem. Just wipe it off. And so I like to highlight all the way around my entire turtle. So we're really gonna make him pop, stand out from the background. Just using pure white. And highlighting. Made a little slight mistake there. It's not a problem. We'll go back in, touch it up later. And now as you're doing these whites, you're also going to pull a little bit of the white into the creases that you made earlier, or the little shapes. And that's because our highlight would also be highlighting inside these little areas. So go ahead and add those into it. And that exact same process that we were doing here and here, you're gonna also do in the face. And you're gonna just make up a bunch of little shapes. Nothing special, nothing in particular. Just start having fun with it, start adding your flair. Like this. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put the line in for the shell there, as well as right here. I'm going to go ahead and outline our shell. Like I said, we're outlining our entire turtle. Including the underbelly right there. And then don't forget that this little leg actually kind of comes up into the body a little bit. And that his little face is actually a bit more white than it is currently, with a mix of yellow in there. All right, so now we're going to do the little liner. Basically, this is kind of like the border of the carapace. And so we start by just literally putting in a little line, stays about the even width all the way down. And then you just separate it with like kind of like a little semicircle, half curve, little line. And then we're gonna put in our main carapace back lines. And so you just do one line coming from like the top, from the flipper right here, just going down to this one. Another one really close to this one, not touching, but then coming down and meeting at the bottom, a little further down. And then I'm going to put another one going even further down. And you see that we added kind of like a little hexagon top right there. Okay, so we're almost done with this part. So the last thing you really need to do is add in more of those fun little shapes into his little flippers. And again, these do not have to be perfect, pretty little shapes. They could be swirls if you wanted. They could be triangles. They could be rectangles only. It is totally up to you what you want your turtles' little shapes to be. And I just realized that I did not put the purple ones back in here. So we actually put the purple shape, the purple lines in the back one. But leave the front one with white. Okay, so now we just gotta do a couple more little things. We're gonna re-highlight where his little belly is. Now we're gonna put our round brush back and we're gonna switch back to our medium flat brush, which is this guy. And so now we're gonna be using our bright colors a lot more. So we're gonna mix up another round of teal, but we're gonna add a little bit of yellow to it so you get this kind of really pretty seafoam green color. So that's what we're gonna use all down here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that yellow, a little bit of white, and a little bit of that purple. And we're getting pretty close to the color we wanted for our carapace. And then like a final line of teal. Always looks nice. I'm gonna use our greeny yellow color to just add a little bit more interest in the skin and the neck area. I'm gonna also do the same with just yellow and white. So mix up some yellow and white. And do it again. So you see, I'm literally just creating little gestural marks, nothing fancy. Just doop, 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 like that. And then we're gonna switch back again to our round brush. And now with our round brush, we're going to start adding in, I'm gonna show you this real fast. Shoot. So you see in our final painting, we've got color inside our carapace and in all of these little things here. So we're gonna do the eye next, and then we're gonna do all those little details, and then we're done. So what we're gonna start with is the eye, and the eye is teal inside. So that's green and white, again, make teal. And we're gonna do this over a couple of steps. We're gonna fill in our turtle with teal. Our turtle, fill in his eye with teal. Okay. Now we're gonna take our purple that we used for this guy right here, the purple that we use to do all of those little shapes. Mix up a little bit of water with it, make it a little bit more fluid. Now we're gonna go into all of the dark turquoise areas and just add a couple little tick marks. And so this technique I'm showing you right here is to add texture and more emphasis and layering. It's gonna look awesome. But just so you know, after I show you this step, this is literally all we're gonna do for pretty much the rest of the painting, except for when it comes to the eye. And so I'm gonna let y'all have at it and have fun. I'm just literally doing a couple, maybe 1, 2 little tick marks in each of these little plates. And whenever you're working on in the yellow areas, I'm just using, like I said, a kind of a lighter version, like it's more watered down, so it's not so bright in our yellow areas. But just follow along. I'm going to fast forward through this part, and then I'll stop back again whenever we get to our eye. And again, once we do this, we're going to do this magenta. Then we're going to do the teal color. And then we're going to hit it one more time with a white and yellow mix, or a white and orange, whichever you prefer. You can do any combination of these. It's going to look great. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so we're back and now we only have a couple more things to do and then we're all done. So the first thing we're gonna do is get in our eye. And so the first thing I like to do is to create a shadow on the top with the Phthalo Blue. This is the dark blue color, kind of redefining our eye. And then we're going to make our turquoise color again, which is green and blue mixed together. And we're going to make a nice little circle. I hope you enjoyed learning how to paint this sea turtle today. If you have any questions about the process or there's something in particular about a technique I did and I didn't explain it well enough, please leave a comment below and be as detailed as possible with what exactly you're trying to go for, or with what part, like give like a timestamp you wanted more emphasis on. And that way I can actually go back in and either do a new video of this turtle, or I can just use that for our upcoming videos so that I can be more thorough and so that everybody knows, what I'm talking about. So this is a learning process for me, and I really want to make the best possible videos for you guys so that you know how to create these things too. So yeah, just always comment below with any questions you have, and that would be super duper awesome. Besides that, if you want to give us a follow at Kelly of the Wild, please do that. That'd be super cool. I will be posting periodically videos like this, showing you how to paint step by step. These also actually are inspired by our classes called Paint for the Wild that you can also follow at Paint for the Wild on Instagram and Facebook, that raise money for local conservation through these art classes and creating a fun art experience that gets people connected with our wild Florida and nature in general. So thank you so much for being here today and for spending time with me. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you just coming here today, hanging out with me. You're the best. So give me a follow, give Paint for the Wild a follow, leave any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you soon.